weekend live from Shanghai, China. It's just about time that we start our first semi-final team tournament match featuring the Garena All-Stars taking on the China LPL All-Stars. So let's meet the teams.
Well, starting in the blue corner, it's the 2013 Garena All-Star team. In the top lane from TPA is Stanley. In the jungle from the Singapore Sentinels is Hallelujah. In the mid lane, also from TPA, is Toys. At AD carry from the Singapore Sentinels is Chawi. And at support, former TPA, now from the Snipers, is Mistake.
So let's have a look at their opponents for this one. They are the Chinese LPL All-Stars, including the top lane from Invictus Gaming, a man who shaved his head today, apparently.
Yeah.
That came up on the screen here is, of course, PDD. The jungle from World Elite is Drop. Mid lane, also from Team WE, is Messiah. The AD carry, also from WE. Three of them, of course, in this lineup. And the support from Invictus Gaming is Xiao Xiao.
I suppose it wouldn't really be, if there's only one, you couldn't say we, it would be Team I. So I'm glad that there's more than one.
G. Never mind, they've got two. All right, we've seen enough and we've probably heard enough as well from us. But the members of the Garena All-Stars in our skills competition have been doing really, really well. But we haven't seen them perform as a full team yet here. And what can we really expect from them? Because they have 3 world champions, technically, on their roster. We saw them earlier on getting their rings. Of course, Mistake no longer with the Assassins. He's now with the Snipers. But that fact still stands. He's a world champion.
He absolutely is. The individual skill here is incredibly, incredibly high. And this is interesting because really both of these teams have, you know, a core of 3, right, that have played together for a long time, right? It's Team WE, former TPA. And then you've got 2 other guys thrown in there that hopefully can keep up and do very, very well. Now, the interesting thing is, of course, that, well, Toys has been brutal, right? In the mid lane competition, he's been doing absolutely great individually. Stanley nearly took out his opposition as well. In PDD, I think it was, or my
Shy.
Yeah, it was Shy. Sorry. So we've actually seen them individually do incredibly well, as I think they have the teamwork too.
Not sure that if we do see Oriana from Toys that it will be AD this time, though.
Not likely.
Probably sticking with a more traditional AP. And their opponents for this one, China, looked fantastic yesterday, but do they really have what it takes to beat the Garena All-Stars?
Well, PDD, I think, is going to be the big factor here. So if you kind of go back and say, look, the core of 3 are going to do well, how about the ringers? Well, PDD's been freaking phenomenal. The guy has been on point, absolutely. He had a 5-1-9 Rumble game. 3 of his 5 kills were in 1v2s. He succeeded in 2 different 1v2 scenarios and won both of them. And their teamwork seems to be actually pretty good. They've had a couple of falters, sure. You know, they had a couple of rough games against NA, but really speaking, they've been on the same page. They've been making good calls.
And coming off their dominating victory over North America in the first round, China's hopes to use their teamwork and a top secret strategy, apparently, to earn another win against the Garena All-Stars here today.
The China team is really scary. It consists of 4 really strong players.
下一场我们将面对来自于东南亚的 GPL， 怎么样打他们？用尽全力的打他们。
China has been coming up with a lot of interesting strategies.
其实说实话，战术，可能也不方便说吧。
应该要把微笑他的发育控制好吧，是对战中国队友的重点。
We have to win the lanes first, because China is really good. Every roles, every lanes, they are very strong at it.
他们是非常强的对手，我们会合理的利用我们的个人能力和战术的调整，去赢下这场比赛。我相信我们可以获胜。
All right then, guys, before we get into our first game, let's check out who you think is going to take this best-of-3 series and earn that spot in the team tournament finals. According to lolesports.com, which, by the way, the voting is still open, so you should definitely get yourself over there and check that out. 55% of you think that the Garena All-Stars will win this match. And I think the difference is, you know, that 15%, the 55 to 45 right now are the 8,000 people in this stadium.
But what's great about this as well is, like, the audience has been pretty good at calling close matches, right? You had an incredibly, incredibly close between NA and EU, and even though it was a 2-0, the games themselves were incredibly, incredibly close. Even North America versus China was stupidly close. Well, that Game 2 is a ludicrous comeback here. And at this point, it's people saying, well, you know, last time we had a big international tournament, TPA slaughtered people. So I think it's a good place to start, honestly.
Yeah, I do as well. But the problem is, right, China are on home soil. And the stadium today, I can, not with statistics to back that one up, but my feeling is that today it's fuller than it was yesterday. It certainly seems that way. It's definitely louder than it was yesterday, or has been at times. And I think they've all been waiting around for this special game that we've got coming up here, of course. China versus Southeast Asia. Now, the thing is, earlier on, Stanley, obviously from TPA, came out just at the side of the stage, and a huge crowd of people actually rushed over to him. So that just shows you that, you know, the fans, whilst obviously rooting for China here, they do have a bit of love for the Southeast Asians as well.
And that's kind of what I'm holding out for, is they've been so supportive of every player here.
Yeah.
Right? I've heard yells for Dyrus and Scar. We've seen the mobs for the TPA players and whatnot. And they've been deafening. Like, the double of pentakill was pretty well deafening. I don't even want to know what a PDD pentakill sounds like, but we might not have ears afterwards.
No, I think this place had just turned into chaos. I think they'd be mobbing us here on stage and, you know, having a celebration with us here, because that's really how passionate these guys here are. And I can't really say that enough. I mean, you guys at home, obviously, you've seen the pictures on the stream. You've seen, or heard, I should probably say, through the microphones that are placed around the crowd. You can see there just a small portion of this incredible crowd here in Shanghai there on your screens. Not sure what they're all hankering for a look at this time, but there's been numerous occasions where we've heard commotion that spread through the stadium, and we've been kind of, okay, what's going on now? Who's walked out from backstage at this point? And they are so into their League of Legends here. It's just, honestly, as a League of Legends commentator on the side, but a League of Legends fan, this is so great to see. It's
amazing to be here. It's fun when, you know, we know the camera's going to turn on, and I just have this grin that just sits in my face, and I can't get rid of it. I'm like, I'm here at the All-Star games. I'm here at the All-Star weekend. These are really good games. I get to cast them.
They all have been as well. That's,
oh my God,
that's a great thing. Even the 1v1s, the 2v2s, you know, we weren't really knowing what to expect from them ourselves, you know, as a caster team, I guess we can call it. We talked a lot about how that's going to go down, what we can expect and things like that. And I think we can safely say that all our expectations have been met. We've seen some incredible stuff from there. The team tournament as well, even though 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 is what we've seen so far.
True.
Those games have been so good.
Yeah, almost. I think every series has had at least a comeback. Every series I can remember has at least had one of those games have a comeback there, if not both of them. And I'm waiting to see which the third game is going to be, because it's funny too. At the end of the first day, we're like, man, that was a fairly long day. Like it you know, took a good long time. We got a lot of games, and we're like, that was the least number of games possible. Like, that could have gone 50% longer, and we're like, man, that's just 2 BO3. Like, these guys are so good at putting on a good show, of, you know, dragging it out as long as they can if they're on the losing team, of saying, hold on, look, we can do this, really. And that's fun to see the fighting spirit that, you know, and Jat said it in the very beginning of the weekend, where unlike most All-Star games, these actually matter. And you're seeing it in the players, in their attitudes, and how they're approaching the games, and what they're accomplishing here, because, you know, they're putting on those great individual performances you expect from an All-Star game, but they're fighting so hard to turn it around and keep themselves in the running that, you know, everyone is trying super hard here.
So there are basically, we should talk about this a little bit as well. Two major things for the teams, at least, on the line here. The first of which, of course, is for the winner, an extra spot for their region when it comes around to the World Championships. The other thing, which has already actually been decided, was, you know, the one team that doesn't reach the semi-finals, in this case, of course, we've just seen that is Europe, will have to play, their first seed team will have to play. Kind of thrown off there. There was a crowd cheering for PDD's freshly shaven head. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe we can find some information.
I feel like he would have lost a bet, like saying I'd beat SOAS 1v1.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's how it went down. I mean, I know all about, you know, losing bets and
losing bets. So I heard you were going to do that anyway. And that scumbag Joe was like, I'm doing this as a ploy to get Twitter followers. Confirm or deny?
I'm not confirming or denying such rumors on air, Freak. I think we all know that my integrity is there. You're just spreading terrible rumors.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I am following you. I'm one of your legion of followers.
I am also one of your legion of followers. That's good stuff. And what Freak said yesterday was something about 100,000 followers and losing the chin strap.
Sure.
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 There we heard it, everyone. Once Riot Freak on Twitter hits 100,000 followers, we are going to shave off that chin strap. In fact, no, we're going to wax it off because that sounds like more fun
Didn't
for
sign up for
everyone
that.
involved.
Didn't sign up for that.
But let's talk about the game a little bit more in depth
right.
here. We will be getting things started in just a second. The admins and teams just working together there down on stage to make sure that everything's running smoothly for this one. Who do you favour in this? Because for me, it's really hard to call, simply because we've not seen the Garena All-Stars, you know, as a team in action.
That's really the thing. It really, really is that it's not that they're unknown. Clearly, these are very, very well-known players. The GPL season has actually played more than the other seasons. So we're into the playoffs, the semifinals in Korea, right? We just had the spring splits end in North America and Europe. China will go into their spring split playoffs after the All-Star game. GPL has actually already started their summer split. They're 8 games into it now. So they've actually technically got sort of more games to watch. They're actually seen as gone on a little bit longer. So you can look at Singapore Sentinels, right? You can look at TPA. You can look at what they've been playing. And TPS as well. They've been playing matches in their respective leagues. So it's not that you can't look at them. You clearly can research them, but we see them play outside their region so rarely. Chawi in his interview said, yeah, it's like us, Saigon Jokers, and TPA are like kind of the only really strong teams there. So you only actually get to watch a few of those matches as ones that matter, right? Where you're going to really pull out your A game. So it's kind of a mix of, do you really trust the picks that have come out?
I honestly don't know what to expect, and that's almost the beauty of this game, because it should be, or it could be at least, a bit of a curveball thrown our way, and I hope so, because I love those kind of games where, you know, we're like, we can expect this, this, and this, and then it's completely different. We're coming in to this one with almost no expectations, other than the crowd is going to be really, really wild throughout. We've got a lot of signs coming up here in the crowd. I'm sure you guys have seen them already on some of the shots. The World Elite signs, the IG signs, some individual player name signs, all in the LEDs, which look great here in the darkened out stands. When something happens, the signs all come out, and just a fantastic atmosphere in Shanghai here today.
And they even have these wristbands that have accelerometers or something in them, where basically if they start applauding, they light up and flicker, and you can
that's what it is.
Watch when people applaud.
Yeah, I thought they were turning on LEDs, being the obviously very smart man that I am. But that's why it lights.
You're good. You're good. This is why we commentate.
I'm just going to say it's the heat. I'm going to blame the heat for that one. But the players on the stage, as we said, will be ready to kick things off here in just a little while. First time that we're going to see the Garena All-Stars in action, and they're making us wait for it. The Chinese guys, you know, they know what to expect here on stage. They've played already. A lot of them have played in those skill games here on stage as well, so they know exactly what their home crowd has got for them, and I just expect it to be a notch above when they're playing what is essentially the World Championship region, or the World Champion region, I guess we can call it.
It's true, and it's fun to sort of look at what could be for these regions, right? So Season 2, everyone who I sort of was like in the know and watched the international games was like on the Korea hype train. It was like, yeah, like a Zubu Frost or like the 50% favorite, like just at the start. 12 teams, it's probably Zubu Frost, right? And of course they made the finals, sure. And so a lot of people had them as that heavy favorite. It was like, Korea's awesome. And coming into the All-Star weekend, a lot of people said Korea's awesome. And well, they've looked really good so far. But at the same time, you know, we so rarely get to see China internationally do very, very well. But we saw Invictus win Stars War. And WWE took second there, and you had teams like TPA and TPS be there, and you know the Chinese did amazingly there. IPL 5, TWE won that above Fnatic, above M5, above Blaze, teams like that, right? Like we every once in a while see the Chinese come out and obliterate everyone, and we know that they can be the best teams in the world, and then they're like hit and miss sometimes, right? Like, dear God, you almost lost early game to the North American team. What are you doing, guys? And you know, maybe it's because North America's catching up, but you know, here's another big true test. How good is China?
How good is China? That's the question we're hopefully going to find out after this one. We can actually touch a little bit while we've got some time here on North America versus Europe, because something that I've not got a chance to comment on here. What did you think to that game, first of all? I was actually so impressed with how North America came out there, and if I'd have had to pick one team, honestly, before the All-Star tournament started to finish last, I would have said North America, sadly, but they've proven me wrong, and I am really happy that they have.
I'm really glad as well, because North America's gotten such a heaping huge portion of hate from the scene in general, because you know, they did really poorly in the Season 2 regionals, right? Like, you had M5 and CLGEU take top 4, and then you had North America win cumulatively 1 map. And it was like, okay, well, that wasn't very good. Shoot, maybe we do suck. And it's cool to come through, right? Season 3, LCS, teams need to practice a lot more, and guys looking pretty sharp, right? They almost beat the Chinese mixed team. They came out to Europe. It's like, all right, guys, you actually are a good team. It's nice to see that my region is doing a little bit better, right? You know, the players that come from where I come from, and that's good to see. And they did look impressive. I didn't think NA was going to do well either, and it turns out they're actually looking pretty strong.
Just shows you what hard work and practice, and you know, really having a strong schedule with the right managerial team behind you as well. They've had a manager in there and also an analyst to help them go through the game, so they've prepared hard for this one, and that's what you get. You reap the rewards after a while. They're going to play Korea, which is going to be a tough one. They looked formidable yesterday against Europe, so we'll have to see how that one all goes down in the future. But Europe going to be rightly disappointed. They've come out and are quite openly said, we haven't done much practice for this tournament, which, I don't know, as a European, I'm a little bit disappointed in, because at the end of the day, it means an extra spot, however many that will be, when it comes to the winner of this tournament for their region. So it is an important factor in things. And also, the point which I made a joke halfway through it in the last time I tried to explain it, is the team that finishes last, they don't get their first seeded team into the playoffs directly. They will have to play through the groups.
Yeah, exactly. And again, when you looked at what happened with the Season 2 regionals, right, or the Season 2 finals, I should say, the playoffs, right, when North America cumulatively wins 1 map, their top placing team, TSM, they only got there because they won NA and got a bye. And you know, Europe, certainly they looked really good in Season 2, but I mean, this could be a everyone bottom 12 placing, and that's a rough thing to kind of consider for yourselves. So this needs to be motivation for really all the teams here, right? For, well, shoot, we're fighting for fewer and fewer spots here. You know, only one region gets that extra spot. Guys, some of it's going to be all in the group stage. Everyone's got to buckle down over the next, you know, however many weeks of games that are left before their regionals, and be ready to beat everyone else.
Now you can see the stadium here, the Shanghai Grand Stage, which is indeed a grand stage. And that's before this amazing stage is actually put in there. I don't think we've really seen much like that from Esports. You know, I don't work for Riot technically, so I can praise what's been built here. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure that everyone involved in that, in the building process, which, by the way, those guys definitely deserve a shout out, because that is some hard work. But what we're going to do here while we've still got a little bit more time is actually go to a few more Twitter questions. You guys have been asking all day, and you can continue to do so at LOL Esports using the hashtag Allstar. The first one comes from, wow, this one's going to be interesting. Hesselhofer. I think it's David Hasselhoff,
yes,
actually in disguise, trying to get in there. What do you think is the most frightening team comp to face, Freak?
Ooh, the Demacian Commandos. Full commando gear, like that's pretty dangerous. I mean, Jarvan's right, hugely contested. Lux has been great overall. I just think when they all come at you with their dark green and their sunglasses, you just got to run and hide.
So a more serious answer, at least from my point of view, I hate knock-up teams. Teams with lots of knockups are just ridiculously frustrating. Obviously, when it comes to the pro scene, every comp has its counter. So it's never it's not too often that you see a full-out 100% certain type of comp. Never 100% poke, because of course that's got its weaknesses.
Yeah.
And everything's got its weaknesses in there. But for me, knockups are the most frustrating thing ever.
So Joe, you're afraid of a ring in your finger and of being knocked up. What are you not saying?
Nothing. I'm keeping that one a secret. You're going to out me if I tell you I know that one. The Real Magros asks, which champion are you most excited to see played by an All-Star?
Orianna and Twisted Fate, I think, are my 2 most favorite champions to watch, just because, like, it's great to see the mechanical plays from champions like Vayne and all those cool individual playmakers, but Orianna just can do so much.
Yeah.
There's so, like, I mean, we saw AD Orianna from Messiah earlier. She can just turn around fights. I remember, what was it, Alternate, right, with the 3,000 elo shockwave that clutched them a game. Like, there's just things like that that are so fun to watch from Ori. And then Twisted Fate has that same sort of, like, out of nowhere things just happen We've seen them like the Messiah highlight reels with Zhonya's where he'll port then Zhonya's, or he'll start the port and Zhonya's before it goes through, so he still baits a bunch of cooldowns. Like, there's a lot of tricks with that guy.
Yeah, I'm into that kind of thing as well, you know, the almost one spell that can change the game. The Shockwave, the Destiny, the hooks from Blitzcrank, from Thresh, even from Nautilus to some extent in there as well. Still got plenty of love for Soraka, Singed, and Nunu there. They're definitely up there with my top 3, but I really love those spells that can really just change the game with one, if one lands out of 5 even in a game.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun thing to watch. We'll see if we get some more of those high-impact champions. So, next question for us. Chad asks us, Benieki? Sure. How do you feel esports has evolved compared with traditional sports? I think the phrase I'm going to say is catching up, right? I think traditional sports have been around for longer than computers.
Definitely.
So, I think it's fair to say that esports is younger, but I think when you look at events like this, I've seen the outcry on the internet about how people feel about the stage setup and everything, and I mean, it's amazing to see how much it's grown, how quickly it's burgeoned and spawned events like this. It's a bright future.
Yeah, I could probably talk all day about this kind of topic because, you know, I've been around for so long and I've seen, you know, an event where just a few guys will be working and, more importantly, watching. Definitely not in a stadium like this full with 8,000 people right now, with a stage this big behind, with a crew that's worked for days and days and days and days to get everything into position. You can't really imagine how much goes into these kind of things. And then there's you guys at home. There's about 1 billion% more of you now than there was 5 years ago. And that's just it's really interesting because you have to wonder if we've come this far in this short space of time, what are we going to be like in 10 years? What position are we going to be in? And I think we can safely say for fans and, you know, for everyone that's working and involved in esports, this is the most exciting time that we're having right now.
Absolutely it is. I think we're all going to be going up and joining Snoopy in space for the next tournaments in the near future. And yeah, it is such a bright future. Like, it's hitting the same point, but it's just a point of happiness of, I've been around esports for 10 years or so, and I remember when all tournaments were like, yeah, it's like a side room at some other sort of venue and you rent out space, and now they're just for the tournament. And it's because of guys like you who are watching. It's guys like here in the stadium, guys like the ones on your screen who are going to be playing the matches here.
Exactly, and we are in Champion Select. We finally got around to it. It is, of course, going to be the Garena All-Stars versus the LPL All-Stars. China versus Southeast Asia. Bands coming out here, starting off with the Garena All-Stars. Malphite and Jarvan. So one for PDD there, one for Troll in the jungle. Lee Sin taken out, Kennen taken out for LPL, and a Twisted Fate finisher. Messiah, his favorite ever, and his most known champion, I think we can safely say. He's not going to have it today.
This is so smart. The question was going to be Rumble or Thresh, and this puts GPL under pressure because LPL is going to take Rumble and or Thresh if they can get it. They ban Sona. If the Stanley takes Rumble, they get Thresh, and then don't allow that sort of second pick support that we've seen them want so badly. And so they are going to take their bait. They're going to say, yes, we were going to take Rumble. That was their plan from the get-go, to steal that from PDD. And so now, I mean, I have to expect Thresh. I have to expect probably the Zac jungle as well, to me, is the likely pickup there. But we're going to wait around. We've still got a few more seconds for them to make their choices.
Well, Kazik's one that's been left open here in this one. And, well, you were close, but...
No, not at all.
For that one, Freak. Kazik's and Karthus locked in here for the Chinese LPL All-Stars. And, well, that's off the bat two very scary champions.
Those definitely are, and those are just huge, huge playmakers, right? They're champions. Karthus especially is a champion that both Messiah and Toys plays just exceptionally well. The Kazus can come in there as a jungler, as a top laner. I'm trying to think, because IG is a team that will swap their AD carry in mid, like Zitai and Kid will swap. I guess neither of them are in this game, so it doesn't matter, but then one, like, Zitai will play AD carry and Kid will take Kha'Zix. So it just depends on who's the expert there and who's going to play as the champion. But I guess like it's probably going to be PDD on that Kha'Zix there.
Well, we did see the Thresh and the Varus locked in there, as you can see on the monolith behind the players. Now, that support and AD carry role locked in for the Garena All-Stars. On the other side, it looks like we're going to be seeing a Caitlyn.
This is really funny because the GPL picks, half of them are big-time GPL picks. They're champions that are super, super common. Their Thresh is up there, Varus is up there. Rumble is like almost never banned. Out of 120 games, he was banned only 8 times in the whole like GPL 1.5 seasons. But they grabbed it so quickly, they're trying to pick LPL champions.
On the other side, LPL going for Hecarim, another one that's very, very popular over here in China. And of course, the support locked in for that one was Lulu. Over on the other side, we are going to see an Orianna here for Toys. Not going to be AD this time around. And a Zac there locked in for the final pick.
I really, really love this GPL lineup. It's so well put together. They got a nice mix of stealing picks from GPL. And the thing is, Stanley plays so many champions, there's no way he doesn't know how to play Rumble. You've got the Toys Orianna. You've got Hallelujah. It's interesting because Harla is a supporty jungler. He's not a farm steal like Insect or Diamond or Troll. And so you'll see kind of a more low econ Zac, but Stanley, Toys, and Shawi can all take lane farm. That's okay. Having a support jungler works here because they're all playing carries otherwise.
Well, it looks like that last pick is going to be coming in for Wei Zhao, and his support player, Zhao Zhao, of course, from Invictus Gaming, is going to lock him in that Caitlyn. So final pick there for the LPL All-Stars will be Caitlyn. So a Caitlyn Lulu bottom lane. That could be a scary lane in itself.
Yeah, that's one of the best, probably literally the best 2v1 lane in the game of traditional picks here, because they both have line nukes that can wave clear incredibly well. Lulu's doesn't even have fall off for hitting multiple minions. You've got the shield, the hex for disengage. Caitlyn can disengage, put traps down. They can poke enemy champions under their turret because they're both long range with their basic attacks. These guys will crush a turret so very fast. And Rumble does not have wave clear. He's okay getting 1v2, and he'll survive and he'll play through the game. But Stanley will have a really bad time in 1v2.
Yeah, and we shouldn't underestimate the wild growth as well from Lulu, which I think is something that is looked over a little bit. The fact that you do get that knock-up from it as well with the likes of Thresh in there. If someone you don't quite want to be hooked in there does end up getting hooked through, you can wild growth and knock the Thresh up, and all of a sudden you might be able to turn something around there. So a couple of great lineups here coming out for both of these teams. The bans that we really expected to come in there, the Twisted Fate in particular did come down, but always interesting to see that the Rumble, the Thresh, Kha'Zix in this case as well was left open. Really heavily fought for between the teams.
And that's just, it's so funny because the Chinese teams, like, they're very secluded in a way. We don't see them internationally a lot, and they actually play a lot of the same champions. So a stat I want to bring out is the number of champions that are picked or banned more than half the time. So in North America it's 7, in Europe it's 8, in the GPL region I think it's also around 8, and in China it's 13. There's this group of champions that players will not let go of and will play over and over again and say, no, these are the ones that we want to play, and they just play each other over and over again. And so the Chinese teams are like, yeah, we want those guys. GPL steal a few away, and they made their own lineup here, and now they've got to work with it.
So here we go then, it's game number 1 of the Garena All-Stars versus the LPL All-Stars. Southeast Asia versus China. And the crowd getting behind their teams for the start of this one. But let's have a look here at level 1, because specifically over with the Garena All-Stars, you've got that hook in there from Thresh, which can be absolutely devastating. Nothing really similar to combat that or to really weigh up from the Chinese though.
It's going to be just an interesting sort of setup here. So human line of scrimmage so far is where these teams have gone in the early game, saying, look, we don't want to risk anything too deadly just right now. Start the game out defensively. Stanley, so I made a mistake here talking about P. Diddy with it before. Basically, he's opening up Flame Spitter and spamming it on cooldown to build his heat above 50. Once he's there, he's going to do 25% bonus damage with the Flame Spitter, and he'll actually gain heat by spamming it. So he wants to get to that 50 mark, and then just start messing with people with a lot of heat.
Start bringing the heat onto the Chinese side. We'll see if that can work out. We see there 2 wards down in the Tri-Bush. Right now, the Green All-Stars got 2 up on the top side, 2 on the bottom side. A similar scenario here for the Chinese LPL All-Stars as well. So a pretty defensive start to things. Neither team wanting to put any kind of risk. However, we can talk about lane swaps here, because it looks like the one thing that we can see definitely is that Lulu and Caitlyn, Wei Zhao and Zhao Zhao are going to that top lane.
They absolutely want to 2v1 this matchup. That was their goal from the get-go. Go mess with Stanley. He's the best equipped champion you know, unless GPL 1 or 2v2, which they don't. I mean, it's way better that it's Stanley than that it's Toys taking that for their lineup. However, the LPL squad has already set themselves up something nice. PDD's already got blue buff and level 2 going into this 1v2 lane.
Right now, Chowie and support, of course, Mistake going down into that bottom lane, so they are going to be sorted in that one. Xiao just having a bit of a peek over towards the enemy blue buff there, getting wards down. It looks like Troll is going to be headed over, galloping into position with that Hecker in. Zaki's actually just switching over onto that blue side of the map. I think there was a ping to retreat there, and this is going to be a blue buff stolen away by the LPL All-Stars.
This is so smart by them. They have that 2-on-1 in the top lane. They know they have the numbers advantage. Oh, was that Smite stolen? Sorry, I lost.
No, it was Troll. It was Troll.
All right.
No problems just yet. That's why.
Sorry about that.
The Chinese crowd here can throw you off. They get loud about some small things for this one. But he was obviously able to pick that one up, and of course the blue buff went over on the other side, I believe, to Kazakhstan in that bottom lane there as well. So a little bit of an interesting start coming out. GPL All-Stars already starting off on the back foot there. You can see that blue buff for PDD, and that is an ideal start when you're going to run a 2v1 lane like this.
Absolutely, he's got a decent amount of experience. He can spam his ranged ability, that Void Spike, to try to last hit, try to wave for a little bit, keep his turret alive. He's in way better shape than Stanley in this 1v2 situation. So now it's on what can Hallelujah do to turn that around and make this not as bad as it is for them.
Well, Troll is actually coming down here, and this may just be in the nick of time. He's going to try and force his 2v1 lane away, and may end up getting hooked in. The hook is going to land here. Troll will be able to get back to safety, though, and not too dangerous. One thing that we always talk about is the ganks through this tri-bush. Zach almost removes the need to do that because of his elastic slingshot. He can jump so far to underneath that turret that you almost don't need to take the tri-bush angle, and he is going to jump in right here, and PDD gets the safety.
Great reflexes by PDD. You can see, or I can see, because I can see the wristbands lighting up. You can hear the crowd cheering every time this Chinese squad makes a good move. It's going to get loud when they do something even crazier than that, but we'll see what ends up happening with this one. Right now, though, Toy's not in a good spot.
Troll's coming in from behind him. They did get a wall of pain down. Toy's going very low, but he's forced to flash away, and that is flash burnt in middle. Can't really afford to be playing aggressive now when that horse is on the map and you've got no flash.
Very, very good job there by Troll overall, and that's going to make things risky for him. He's now looking for that top lane, maybe for a dive. Thing is, he has clearance to do it. They've got so much work from the top lane. He's going to choose to counter jungle instead.
He's actually got a level over Hallelujah here, and he's going to spot his position. Hallelujah just actually going in there, smites the big wolf down. He's like, no, Troll, you're not going to steal that one. Meanwhile, in this bottom lane, Mistake has taken a lot of damage here. They need to be careful, the Green All-Stars, that the things don't get a little bit too hairy for them on that front. Troll has just taken the raid camp. Chowie is starting to push in there right now. The hook not quite landing on towards PDD, but that tower has taken a battering.
And the GPL team their AD carry is winning in minion kills as well. So Chowie, right, he's that ringer, right? I mean, Wei Zhao, everyone knows him. He's an amazing AD carry. Chowie's coming in here from SGS. We didn't even see that team in the Season 2 World Playoffs. And Chowie's doing very, very well, has the highest minion score, and he's very, very close to killing off that turret if it weren't for Troll.
Neptron is in there. Are they going to start to push forward? Mistake is actually almost up to full HP after we said he was low a little bit earlier on. He is Stanley in that top lane, and there you see the danger of that Caitlyn Lulu. They can hammer you up from range, and especially with that headshot from the passive of Caitlyn as well, it can become dangerous.
It absolutely is, and you know, this is, again, 3.6. Caitlyn still triggers headshot by hitting turrets. This is going to be the turret right now for GPL.
Yeah, this will be turret number 1 of the game. They're going to leave the minions to finish that one off. And that may just be instantly countered here. Wei Zhao and Zhao Zhao are still pushing that top lane. Stanley trying best he can with that flame spitter to stop it happening, but he will be finished off here. And that leaves us bang even on gold, bang even on turrets, and I suppose we could say on kills as well. Still no first blood.
So what I want to point out right now is make those comparisons to the top lanes and the AD carries. A small lead here. First, but here comes the fight on Toys. The counter against Hallelujah.
Wow, a shockwave coming down here. They're going to go in towards Messiah. Hallelujah comes around the side. Troll is chasing down Toys. Don't forget, he's got no flash. Here comes the Requiem, and there is first blood coming out. The shield quite enough to keep him alive. First blood for China.
Absolutely great play by them. Troll is making his presence felt and finding those places to gank. Of course, it is not hard to gank a mid laner who does not have flash anymore. Toys thought the counter gank would have worked with the shockwave, but Messiah did disengage and then say, guys, I have a global. Thanks for first blood.
And backing straight away to safety from that. But look at this, the Garena All-Stars. They are going to be grouping up here in that middle lane. They lost their man in the middle, but with the fact that they've got the AD carry support and the jungler there, they may try and put some damage down onto his tower, or Troll may just go for them. He's got his ultimate up. Mistake going to go low. Troll goes low himself. Will he die? Yes, snapped off in the end by Chowie. Mistake actually still alive there. The ignite was not enough to finish him off. 1-1.
And I just gotta wonder, is there a Caitlyn trap and a random brush to steal that one away? It looks like not. Chowie did pick up the kill credit there, so right off the bat, it makes me think, look, who's gonna be the big carry? AD carry Chowie or mid laner Messiah? Because those are the guys with the kills so far. They're the ones with the quick early lead.
Wei Xiao. This is where Wei Xiao gets really dangerous. He's got time to farm, free farm on his own. We've seen it time and time again. He almost disappears from the map for a while. He's not on the radar anymore. And then when you do notice him again, he's built up masses and masses of CS. He's obviously only a little bit ahead right now, but that's pretty commendable considering that Chowie and Mistake could force them to force that bottom lane out earlier than the LPL All-Stars in the top lane. They've switched that and come to this 2v2 at bottom.
So now I want to watch these matchups here because this is a 2v2 and a 1v1 where both teams are pretty much equal. The items are identical for the AD carries. The farm heading into that top lane was identical for the top laners as well. So now it's kind of a rehash of the skills competition. It's, look, okay, Chowie and Mistake, you didn't do so well, you know, against Double Phoenix Special, but here's your chance to come redeem yourselves in this matchup. Can you do it here?
There is blue buff for Messiah. Toys already got that one a little bit earlier on, and Toys is ahead there when we look at the creep score. Xiao was just off to the side, and this is one of the beauties of Zachman. Now, similar jungle sim, the Jarvan, for example, that can slide through the wall. They're able to get a start on an early dragon.
And that's such great play, but then part of that was due to that bottom turret being dead. They got to start the shove, push the minions all the way up. The pink ward has been down there for about 2 minutes. They had the pink ward and realized, look, the Chinese team just apparently doesn't care about this. All right, we can run for it.
That's the early push of the Ogre. Land the hooking onto Wei Xiao. He's going to go down. That was just destruction there. They actually used quite a lot to secure the kill. We saw the ultimate out of Rumble, out of Varus as well in there. So he used a couple of ultis, but better to use them than to let that kill go.
It's actually really good for them because Dragon's already gone. There's no big team fight objective on the map in any amount of time soon before those ultimates come back.
Hallelujah, just diving over the side there, doing a lot of damage. Carpenter's forced to flash away. Didn't want that shockwave to have the ability to knocking him down. And there is Wei Xiao again. Talked about it earlier on, constantly pushing. Is almost going to get himself back to a 10 CS lead here.
This is that Team WE play style, right? Caitlyn is self-sufficient. She can disengage very, very well. As long as Xiao Xiao wards enough for her that she doesn't get jumped on by Zach out of nowhere. PDD on Kazu to do the same. He wave clears incredibly well. He scales so great off of items, and he can escape with leap and with his slows and with his invisibility. Messiah can just hold the mid lane and farm and just share globals, and then Troll can just make his presence known wherever he wants. This is WE playstyle right now.
Yeah, and PDD had managed, you know, in those 2v1 situations to get the better of things. Let's not forget he had a blue buff as well at the start, which definitely helps you out to spam those void spikes and what have you. He's currently 20 CS almost in the lead. This is going to be turret number 2 here for the LPL All-Stars. There's no one around currently for the Garena All-Stars. They're actually headed top to try and counter it.
This is actually a very, very good move by GPL. The funny thing is, the Chinese could have kept pushing bottom, but they don't have enough vision to know kind of where everyone was going. Turns out it's like a 5-man group top. That secondary bottom turret could have been killed by Wei Xiao if they wanted to.
Wow, Hallelujah diving in there, and PDD says, not today. Hits him with the void spikes. Hallelujah just backing away from that one. And that is a scary Kha'Zix, obviously. Hallelujah and Stanley saying, we can't really stick around. They're going to clear out very, very quickly, and it's not really worth being in trouble there whilst trying to get that turret down. Currently in gold, it's only a 200 gold difference, so it's not even that as you watch it tick over there. And it is, of course, the Garena All-Stars who have that very slim lead.
The funny thing is, that's a 100 gold lead with a dragon to their favor. So the actual minion farm is going the way of LPL. If the game just sits like this and they're allowed to just farm for a while, they'll probably keep growing this lead as well, which spells bad for GPL's late game.
And we can see the late waves coming out from Carthus already doing good amounts of damage. I mean, that's a Catalyst and a tier in there for Carthus. It's not like he's really got any power built up into that one just yet, Messiah. So something to keep an eye on that front. That would be for sure. Let's have a look at the CS now. It's developed again. In that top lane, or certainly the solo lane, PDD and Stanley, that's improved for PDD at this point. 85 to 55, 30 CS difference, and overall a 300 gold lead. That's with Dragon. We should again point that one out.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually globals in the favor of Stanley, and this is actually so it's funny because it doesn't matter a lot for Stanley, but it matters a lot for PDD. So none of the back line of GPL is all that safe, right? None of them have good, amazing disengage tools. Like, they have crowd control, and that's nice, but they're not Ezreal. They're not Karthus, where you could just blink away or you don't really care if you die.
Oh, there's a hook on towards Zhao Zhao. He's in a lot of trouble. The box is going to go down, and he flashes perfectly timed there. There's a snipe from Chowie, but he flashed over. Oh, there's a lantern to save him. And that was a fantastic move, just to the point where I thought, oh, Chowie's gone a bit too deep. He's got the lantern to save him. Holly done. Yeah, Hallelujah. You're going to go in, but not too deep. That's to attack control.
Dude, the forethought from Mistake there was amazing. He's like, Xiao Xiao can only get away by flashing this wall. I'll lantern to reveal who's there that might protect him. Oh, nobody. Go flash the wall. By the way, when you're done flashing him, come hop back across, Chowie. Don't worry, I got you covered. He thought like 2 steps ahead for that one, and it paid out beautifully.
Arena All-Stars are currently... Oh, forget that, because Chowie's coming down bottom. Wei Xiao was just doing the golems at the time. But there was a big pile of Garena players just getting up towards that top area. Wei Xiao now is going to... he's still pushing. He's going to have Hecarim here for a little bit of support. Chowie is going to start to back here underneath his own turret, but they're stealing away jungle as they go, and that is going to be a red buff. That's not something that the Green All-Stars really want to be losing at this stage.
And the thing is, GPL has the same stranglehold on the top side of the map that LPL has on the bottom side of the map. The thing is, GPL's not realizing they can steal Lizard right now. It's up, if I'm not mistaken. I see the minion marker at the very least. Yeah, the Lizard is just there, and they're not realizing they have the control to just take that away. So, I mean, the Chinese team are sort of more aware of their advantages and taking control of them.
And look at Green All-Stars just looking to get that turret finally, which they've managed to do. That's given the turret advantage back at 3-2, and thus the gold advantage has climbed a little bit in their favor to now 500 being the difference. Look at this, Troll has gone back to that red buff, the lizard buff that we were talking about, and he's going to take that for free here, whereas it probably should have been stolen away considering how the patterns of vision and control were at that point.
So now it's up to what these teams do, because GPL has been the more, I would say, aggressive teams in terms of looking for fights, and you can see that by looking at the AD carries. That's actually really, really telling. Because LPL says, look, Wei Xiao, go be your late game carry, keep running to a side lane and taking farm, we'll deal with the rest, we want a big Caitlyn. GPL, they've been pulling Chowie into fights a lot. Chowie's been in every single kill of theirs because they're looking for fights. He's not getting nearly as much farm as Wei Xiao, but he's farming champions, so he's still keeping up.
No, but we are going to be seeing Green All-Stars going for Dragon, and they're going to take Dragon as the hook is landing here on towards Stroll, and they get everything down. The box is in there as well. Mistake gets the kill. The shockwave landed onto Wei Xiao as well. Messiah is going to be taken down in this one. He's going to get his ulti on view, which will take out the least Mistake, and that is one back. But right now, the kills are going to start raining down. Chowie is low. Stanley is super low. They're not going to keep chasing this one. Oh, what a snipe from Chowie. Comes across the side there. They had a ward down in position to give them the vision. Great ending to a crazy fight.
Oh, Chowie, in an interview he said, I like playing caster AD carries. I used to be a mid laner. There's those mid laner caster carry mechanics right there. I mean, that's basically the AD carry version of a needly spear. Just like, and you're dead. Thanks very much. That was so impressive by Chowie. And you know, to go back a step as well, I can't believe LPL turned that fight around so well. They got their Hecarim killed for free and said, yes, fine, we'll run through it, we'll take him out.
What? Who do you give that fight advantage over to? I mean, Dragon was taken by GPL. It was an equal fight for all intents and purposes. And the kills, look at Chowie now. He's 4-0 to Bloodthirster. Zeal got the Avarice Blade in there as well.
I want to say it's like literally exactly equal with one caveat. So Chowie and Wei Zhao each got 2 kills and 1 assist. And the difference, though, is that Messiah got one of the other kills. He's at 2 now himself. But Mistake, the support of GPL, has 2 kills himself. That's actually a bit of a detriment. They don't have gold completely on the right people.
Well, right now he does have an Oracle after that, and he's starting to clear things out. He almost walked into Troll and said, nope, I'm not going to be playing with that. I want to get myself away. There's a hook nicely dodged by PDD. He's not going to fall into that kind of trap, but we see Garena All-Stars talked about the stranglehold that they had on this top side of the jungle of the LPL All-Stars, and they seem to be continuing that trend here. As we hit 18 minutes, you know, we're not too far away from the stage where they'll start pushing those inner towers, and that's when that jungle vision really comes important.
Exactly, and you're seeing that the teams are already trying to prep for it. GPL still feels like the stronger squad. They're the ones pressing forward. They're the ones warding aggressively as well. That's where they feel comfortable, thinking that, look, we're still better than you. We can still take these turrets down. And heck, that mid turret's down to half. They're kind of showing it.
Yeah, that is important push as well here. Messiah taking a big chunk of damage. There comes a snap, and a 3-man shockwave comes out. They didn't follow up there too well, but they're going to keep going through. Troll trying to keep them away, but the Carpenter's ultimate will come down as well. They're going low. Only Varus is dead at this point. Zhao Zhao is very low. Hallelujah, Stanley and Mistake all running for their life. Here comes Caitlyn. Here comes the Kha'Zix. Can he get those resets out? Toys is going to go down, and they killed Kha'Zix off there. And I think you would have hoped to do a little bit better from that one as he was backing away from, as he was running into them, I should really say. But either way, for the Chinese side, that's 3 kills for 2.
That was really, really impressive. The fight start there from GPL was so good. They caught Messiah, and they caught him outside of the Defile range. The Tendril Corruption went to him and helped finish him off, so there was no Defile damage. But the counter engage was just so good. PDD got enough early damage from Hecarim, from Caitlyn, and from Karthus that he could get the resets, jump onto people, and clean up that fight pretty well.
Lost their blue buff here now, as well as Hallelujah and Chowie start to move out. They're peeing off towards Baron, which, I don't know, less than 20 minutes into the game certainly would be a long Baron kill, that's for sure, and I don't think something that they necessarily want to risk at this stage. I think Xiao Xiao and Wei Zhao just going to be headed back home on that top side of things. Let's have a look at where we are with gold. There's been a swing in that right now. The Chinese side actually have an advantage by around about 500.
They've equalized the turret kills to 3. They've been kind of, I guess I would say, winning defense just a little bit by a little bit over time, so they're scaling quite nicely. Xiaoyi gets the blue buff there. And this is the scary thing, because Wei Zhao has been in rough spots a number of times during these fights, but refuses to die. He got nearly caught out at that Dragon fight where GPL took Dragon and fought them. Wei Zhao managed to escape anyway. He's got barrier up now, and it's a 5-kill Caitlyn with IH Phantom Dancer. Wei Zhao is huge right now. He's actually, now that these past Chowian kills, is gonna have more gold individually by about 380. And if you can't remove a fed Caitlyn, he's gonna kill your team.
I see Chowie, who on a bit of a different path this time around, going in for that static shiv along with the Bloodthirster. What do you think about that item, the static shiv, at this stage of the game and being so close?
So I actually like his build a lot. So he's basically playing as a caster. Bloodthirster Varus is not uncommon at all. It's stacking of attack damage to make your abilities deal more. Static Shiv I like on caster carries a lot as well, because you get that initial extra 100 damage burst on your first auto attack that even spreads in case you didn't quite hit the right guy. If we look at what this GPL lineup is trying to do, it's group a bunch of people together, hit him with a shockwave, hit him with the equalizer, hit him with the Varus ultimate, and heck, for good measure, static shiv all of them on top of that. He's really playing into his team comp. He might have built the same thing anyway, but for what it's worth, it does build on the team comp here.
So right now, Dragon is coming up in just 20 seconds time. GPL All-Stars are just waiting here over on that south side of the river. A couple of wards being thrown over the top of the wall. So it's double buff, of course, on Wei Zhao as well, which, I don't know, just makes him even more scary than he was a little bit earlier on. hard to come out there. I thought they might try and get in after Hecarim. It's going to be an easy target to lock down. With that speed that he can move. Going on a ball, being moved around there by Toys. Will he find his target? Weizhao was hit, but decided not to follow on through with that one. And that dragon has now spawned, and the Green All-Stars have pushed LPL back, so they may have a chance to get in. There is a shockwave coming down on towards Messiah. There is a chain of corruption as well. They've got the first one. Chowie picks that one up, but can they continue through here? Carter's ulti is going to take him 2 down, and we still have PDD alive. He gets one. Hallelujah. Not going to escape this one, and this will be kills left, right, and center for the LPL All-Stars. They've got 4 out of 5, losing just 2 of their own.
That is so brutal for this GPL team, and a lot of that is just that they don't have a good answer for Messiah, and they're healthy enough here they could even try for Baron, and it's over Chowie to defend that.
Yeah, they are going to be starting things off here. Chowie is over in that top lane, and he's actually recalling right now, so he's not actually going to be in a position to stop that one from happening. They've got plenty of time till, well, even Hallelujah, who of course has a smite on that Zac, is going to be spawning, so this is going to be a Baron. It's taken them, as I said before, a long time to get it down, but long time or not, it's a vital pickup.
That's absolutely huge for them. Every member of that LPL squad had revived by then, so 5 people will have that Baron buff. Their team has about a 2,400 gold lead. Every single team fight has gone just barely their way. Hallelujah is still trying to get a runic bulwark. He's been trying all game, he's still not quite there.
So you had a great answer for the static shift there, Freak.
Yeah.
What do you think to the locket of the Iron Solari on Varus?
It actually kind of works as the thing, because their backline is getting bombarded by Requiems, right? They aren't surviving the AoE team. They just are trying to basically prevent resets from PDD. Like, Chowie doesn't get to kill anything if he's dead. So, yeah, he's losing damage out of it for it, but I understand the logic. No one had money. They needed a locket for Requiem. It's like, screw it, Chowie, it's on you. Sorry, dude. Good luck with that.
I'll give you that one.
I mean, it's the only thing I can think of. They need that item. They really do.
Makes a lot of sense, and that Requiem has been the thing that's been tipping the balance, I think we can safely say. They've been trying to back away into safety once they see that go down after killing Messiah. Right now, though, LPL All-Stars are pushing down this middle lane, and they've got Baron on, let's not forget, so they're going to be literally stripping as much as they can away from them, Wolves included. They try to starve the Green All-Stars from any kind of farm. They're going to be on the defensive until this Baron buff is finished.
Definitely going to be the case. They can look for a hook right there, and we've seen them start fights off a Thresh Hook or a Verisalt. Equalizer comes by and they kill one person, but almost every single time, the Chinese team has found a way to answer for it, either equalize in kills or go +1. So I'm not even sure what opening is even available for GPL here.
Yeah, I think it's a case of really sitting back on this. It's shown that they can't really do much. And this position, this inner turret for the blue side, you're very pokeable from a good few angles, and especially from a Kha'Zix who can Void Spike just into that tower range with those upgraded Void Spikes here, with the Spike rack on. Yeah. Now, a couple of pot shots coming out from Weizhao, and that's simply the plan here. And that's all they have to do at this point. When the wave comes, few hits from the AD carry, and at some point it's going down.
Well, they have so much sustain with the Baron buff, and they have poke with Carthus Wall of Pain and everything else. They're going to go in.
Shockwave actually landed onto Weizhao, but he's not going to be focused on. He's right at the back as PDD does decide to jump in there. It's 2 kills coming down. Are they going to be able to clean things up? Here comes Carthus. Here comes Chowie from the PDD from the back. Then he is going to be able to pick himself up too. Triple kill coming out for Weizhao as well, and that was an ace for 2 once again here for the Chinese side.
And this LPL squad is just so aggressive that their backline is free to do whatever they want. Messiah dives in with PDD, dives in with Troll. Xiao takes part as well. Weizhao can sit there like, no one's even touching me, and cleaning up the fights every single time. Weizhao's getting the cleanup. He's 9-1-4, but I gotta say, the entirety of this LPL squad is making this team work.
And that's the interesting thing about it. So the shockwave went in towards Weizhao, which is almost the ideal start to a fight for them. Maybe if they got a little bit more than just the shockwave on Weizhao, but when there's no follow-up and there was no attention paid to him whatsoever, what are you going to do about it?
I mean, it's going to be hard to do much about it. Let's actually check a replay of that last fight because you can see just how strong this LPL squad is. So Messiah runs in. Shockwave did not stop Messiah. And so you get the disruption in there from the Hecarim, and you just get to clean up everybody, right? They're just walking forward, dealing damage. Wei Zhao is just sitting there saying, hey, I got to make a last hit there. I got a last hit there. He flashes to steal away the triple kill onto Chaui, but just the amount of disruption from Hecarim into Kha'Zix into Karthus, it's hard to actually focus the right target. You're feared for half the fight anyway, and you just kind of get melted down.
I mean, they actually started to try and back out as well, I think, once they realized, all right, Shockwave did hit Wei Zhao, but that's all it hit.
Yeah.
Right at the back there. We can't follow through with that one. And the LPL All-Stars doing a great job of following right up on top of that one. They're currently 4,200 gold in the lead, 4 kills and 5-3 in turrets. Everything going to plan for them so far here on home soil, and if you can't already hear the crowd definitely behind them for this one.
Yeah, this is a hometown crew. We've asked if this was going to be too much pressure for them or if they were going to thrive in this environment. Right now, it looks like they are thriving. They're still undefeated on the weekend. They're going to go in on Troll, though.
They're going all out on Troll here, who's already had a couple of ultimates thrown his way, and he'll say, not likely. I'm just going to get myself out of there. Not really a problem. He's going to recall in the bush just underneath, and that will be, you see there that the Green All-Stars even using, or Equalizer went in there. We saw a lot used to try to take him down, and they didn't really do much to him. It's just under half HP for that many players on him.
It's a very, very tanky Hecarim here. A lot of defensive items on him, and you can see just how difficult it was for this squad to break him down. So another turret goes down. That's 6 for LPL. What the GPL squad really needs to do right now is actually deal with the proper threats. They can't kill Wei Zhao because the team can't dive. It's not even a dive team. Like, yeah, you can initiate off of a pick with Rumble and Orianna and all that. You can do that, but in a team fight, this GPL squad doesn't get to reach the back line. Stop shockwaving Wei Zhao. You've got to say, we either pull Messiah back with a shockwave behind him and pick him out with no defile damage, or they wait on PDD, bait him out, throw so many shields at themselves that they don't take any initial AoE and be like, no resets for you, we're all still healthy, kill Kha'Zix, and then try to clean up the fight from there.
Let's have a look down the items here, because we've not done that for a little while. We do see, actually, we'll forget that because they're going to try and close in on towards Rumble for this one. Let's see if that glitter lance from Xiao Xiao can actually land onto him here and get him in. And there is the Thresh Lantern. Pull him off to safety, but that sets them up nicely to push this top lane down. Look at Caitlyn, Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, Quicksilver Sash, and those Berserker Greaves. Compare that to the Bloodthirst, the Shiv, a BF Sword, and that Locket of the Iron Solari. Certainly, in damage, you can't even compare them.
Not at all. The only way that Wei Zhao even dies in this fight is if he gets caught by a Thresh Hook or by Chaui's ultimate. So the only thing Wei Zhao needs to buy here is, well, I didn't bring Cleanse, so I'll bring this instead. I can't see Wei Zhao dying unless his team gets mopped up in a team fight and he sticks around too long. So it's a 9-kill Caitlyn who's very scary. It's not going to fall over. It's a hard thing to deal with.
And have that wild growth as well if needed. Although Messiah going to be a prime target for that as well once he dives straight into the middle and getting that defile range down. Toys here has to deal with super minions coming in the middle, which could actually cause him some problems over in this top lane because the push is coming in from the LPL All-Stars. You can see the wall of pain slowing them down. PDD trying to dig away from that side as well.
So right now it's GPL trying to catch up in items. The problem is they don't have a lot of time for this because Baron is being started by LPL. Problem is LPL has actually not enough vision control. They haven't swept the ward out that looks at Baron. GPL is not going to fall for this.
No, to do with that Oracle come in there, and well, the hook from Mistake not connecting whatsoever, and there was a ward on his position as well. There you see the forward spikes and what they can do to Toys. Another wall of pain goes down. They are starting to clear things out. Are the LPL All-Stars here going to go for Baron because they see Toys coming away? Actually, the Requiem is going to come down straight away from this one. Is that going to be enough to force them back? That was Captain Obvious play in my book when you want to go for Baron. Put that Requiem down and hope that they're going to be too low to even dare challenging for him. But right now, they're stood on top of a ward, and the Southeast Asian side know exactly where they are.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they had a minute advantage for a while. Just now, the mid inhibitor respawn. LPL wanted to say, look, lose your base or lose Baron, choose one. Turns out they actually didn't have to lose either one. Toys back, pretty much at the right time. Not enough pressure was made by LPL. Again, because that ward was there, GPL didn't get baited into anything. However, here comes PDD from the side.
Coming in from around the side. Green All-Stars. What was that? Where did those void spikes come from? Well, back away, we finally have Troll clearing out that ward, which is a welcome thing for the LPL All-Stars. Got that lantern to throw around as well, which will maybe make some difference. There's 3 traps down there by Wei Xiao on that ramp. That is a nice thing to do. The Troll is actually going to go in there. Gets a knockback onto Mistake. Messiah is right on top of them. And here comes PDD. Zonya's used by Toys, but it's not going to be enough. A decent shot wave comes out, but honestly, I'm not sure that it's going to change the outcome on this one. It's a double kill for PDD. Here comes the ace in the hole. Chowie just about escaping, but where they're going to run to from this one? They're running north. Toys is actually inside of the brush here. Going to be spotted. Wei Xiao going to go head to head with Hallelujah, who will flash over the wall. There it is. It's a one-shot. Wei Xiao is legendary. Hallelujah on top of a trap right now. Wei Xiao definitely doesn't want to give him that gold. Will go to middle and also attack himself back to hell.
This is very, very good for the LPL squad. Only Hallelujah is alive. Wei Xiao managed to win that duel in very impressive fashion, so this gives them control of the base. This is inhibitor for free, and I'm not sure if they can Baron off this. They're still a little bit hurt.
Still a little bit hurt. Troll does still, of course, have that Oracle, so we'll see if he decides to do anything with that one. The bottom side of the jungle of Green All-Stars is up and available for the taking, but of course that's not really the focus. Yeah, red buff would be nice, but they are going to go for Baron. Let's not forget that Caitlyn there, with that Bloodthirster in there, is going to be healing up very, very quickly on that one. Are they going to try and bait them in? It'd be a very risky play just because of how low Wei Xiao is. The fact he's 10-1-6 right now. It's a lot of gold to be giving over to someone if he does die.
LPL almost bit off a little bit more than they could chew there. I was actually trying to watch the movements. Wei Xiao went toward red buff, and they're like, no, we can do Baron, we can do Baron. So he turns around, PDD jumps on a Baron, they start that. No, wait, guys, they know about this, they're coming up to us, we gotta stop this. They pull back down, they jump in the brush. Okay, well, maybe they're gonna go for it, we can stop them. They start recalling. Wait, no, wait, maybe they're actually going for it. We need to stop recalling. Just a word. Okay, Wei Xiao, go to base.
Maybe a little bit of not so strong communication. Let's not call it bad, because right now these teams are not looking bad whatsoever. But there are the times where you do notice that you've got 3 players from one team and 2 from another team that you've not practiced hours and hours and hours for weeks and weeks on end with each other. Which is, of course, what you're going to get when it comes to an all-star game like this. Messiah, of course, is looking very strong right now. Going to be moving up towards that death cap by the looks of things here shortly. Does have the Xerath's Embrace plus that Rod of Aegis in there as well. Other side, Zonya's Hourglass for Toys. We saw that being used earlier on with the Athenes on Holy Grail as well.
Okay, so very, very powerful here. Toys does have a good, decent grasp of items here. He's going towards the death cap as well. He's really going to need that because they just need a bit more damage on their team right now. However, he's not going to get enough time to complete it as LPL are already starting off Baron.
Baron has been started. We are going to see the Garena All-Stars coming in. Hallelujah just starts to charge up there with the Elastic Slingshot, but it's not going to be able to be stolen. It was smited by Troll. There goes the Shockwave. They managed to take down Messiah, but he's going to really bring out that Requiem. Is he going to bring the pain? Yes, but not quite as much as before. But look at PDD. He's on top of them. They're going to clean up here. That is an ace. A quadra kill in the end coming out. It was Wei Xiao who got number 5 there to stop the penta for PDD. What a fight from LPL All-Stars.
Scumbag Wei Xiao letting Double be the only penta kill so far. Double have the only penta kill so far in the All-Star tournament. This could easily be the next year for LPL. They're diving into the Nexus.
Yeah, they're going to go for this one here. They got those shields coming out, Lulu. Forget that, they've got super minions coming in. They're going to rip through this one. And the hometown favorites here, the LPL All-Stars, are going to take game number 1 against the Garena All-Stars. And will be just 1 round away from the grand final of the All-Star Tournament weekend.
Absolutely great play by those guys. It was close for a while, but the end game, they really, really turned it on. And I gotta say, the number 1 thing there was actually their team fighting. Maybe the number one thing was PDD.
He looks scarier without his little bit of hair that he had earlier on this morning. I actually saw him outside and was like, I'm not sure if that is PDD anymore. Oh, it is him, yeah. And then people came up to him and were laughing at him, you know, because of his bald head. But yeah, that doesn't seem to have really changed much. His Kha'Zix from this one was strong.
It absolutely was. He got into that 1v1 against Stanley, and I don't know where the minion lead came from, but when it went back to 1v1 and 2v2, they were equal at around, I think, 48 or so. And then suddenly it was like 96 to 54, and I was like, well, PDD's winning that lane. He's doing pretty well for himself. And I mean, you saw the cleanup at the end there. Finished 11-2-9. Had an incredible performance overall, and that's right. That's that triple threat dynamic. They've got Kha'Zix, Karthus, and Caitlyn all putting out a bunch of damage. PDD was the cleanup crew, and he did it.
Well, we'll obviously be back here for game number 2 in a little while, but to take us through the major moments from China's Game 1 win, we're going to go over to Jack and Demon here in just a moment. But as I said, game number 2 will be coming up in a little while. We should mention Wei Xiao just before that as well, because I mentioned him early on, once his tower had actually gone down, that he always creeps back into the farm. He's even a little bit behind. His tower goes down. He falls off the radar. And when he comes back, you know, he's pumped up like he's had 6 months at the gym, and he's a beast. And, well, you saw it in his kills by the end that it just really snowballed out of control for him.
And it was well played by his team to make that happen. Certainly he was mechanically sound, positioned himself in team fights very well. Right? 11, 1, and 8, only 1 death. That's hard to do. But his team set him up for that whole thing, set him up for the farm, set him up for the positioning in team fights, and he played his role perfectly.
Well, strong first game, the LPL All-Stars 1-0 up in this best-of-3 series. Let's head over to Jack and Demon to break down game number 1.
Thank you very much, Joe, and what a game. My God, this place is bonkers right now. They are absolutely loving the fact that China came back into that one, because the game started off and Garena were looking good. They were 4 or 5-1 up in kills. We saw that amazing skill. Chowie jumping over, flashing in, used the hail of arrows, spiked him down, jumped on the dark passage, back he went safety. That was superb play in this game.
And then from there, the game really just progressed to almost a standstill until we actually had a fight in mid lane that we're going to get into a replay of right now, where we had Garena and LPL just even, and it was really a decision of Garena to go in, because I believe they initiated with a shockwave. Let's actually roll the clip right now. So we can see they get Messiah in the shockwave, and that makes them think they can go in, but they actually missed the death sentence, and then Troll crushed in on top of Karthus. Really, since they went in on Messiah and didn't instantly kill him, it allowed PDD to close in after everyone had taken the AoE damage from Hecarim and Karthus. Really, just the team comp in general worked because they had enough upfront damage to allow the cleanup from Kha'Zix and Caitlyn to come in.
And it seemed like that was just a toys call. He's like, well, I've done my shockwave, I've caught Messiah. That's one of the targets we want, but everybody else was it's just like a one-man shockwave. I guess it's the same as a one-man crescendo. It's like a mare wave, I think it is, Joe likes to call it.
Yeah, and I feel like they were riding a wave of confidence coming into that fight, so they thought the one-man shockwave was going to be enough, and it's just, wait a minute, now the other 4 people are going to come initiate on us. But really, from here, they carried a bit of a lead into a Baron fight.
Into the Baron fight, and what a Baron fight, by the way, because Wei Xiao stepped up his game a little bit. And I say stepped up his game because every time Garena were being aggressive, they were picking up kills, but he was getting double kills off the back of them every single time.
And Double Up had a pretty good game himself. Wei Xiao wanted
to pretty good one
by farming up. Let's actually roll this Baron clip right off the bat, because LPL gets the Baron, and then it looked a little grim for them right at the start of the fight. Keep in mind that it actually turns into a bit of a 3v5, but you can see Karthus goes down, Troll goes down, they're low enough. PDD's actually backing up, and at this point, when he sees the Requiem going off, he changes his mind. It's go time. Amazing. Hop, 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 hop. Goomba stomps. Garena, Pro League, gets the quadra kill. That was awesome.
And the amazing thing there is that obviously PDD picked up the quadra, but 2 of them used Zhonya's hourglass on that Requiem. They didn't get hit by it. They were both there, but they just happened to all be clumped together, and you're just like, going in.
And at that point of the game, they had so much damage and so much confidence in their damage. One of the big things we noticed about PDD yesterday was his ability to assess the situation before it happened and just know when he can go all out aggressive, and that was a perfect example.
And the fact that he played Kha'Zix, and honestly, I don't remember him once going in and you're thinking, oh, he went too early, or oh, you're too late to get in the fight. He went perfectly every time. You even saw it on the tower earlier on.
There was multiple fights there where he either died as he got the last hit on Chowie or just finished him off with the sliver. So just amazing judgment throughout the game.
Amazing judgment. So what are we thinking? What are they got to do? Garena mainly because they started off so well, and China's teamwork just seems unstoppable right now.
I feel like Garena just kind of needs to do more of the same, but not get themselves into too many bad fights. It seemed like China really dictated the pace to them, because once we had that mid lane fight that changed the game, they were a little bit afraid to use Shockwave to initiate, and they just got initiated on by Hecarim and Karthus walking into them.
Yeah, and like you say, that Shockwave, it came very late in the last fight as well. So coming up, the Chinese LPL All-Stars, they only need one more win to earn their spot into the team tournament final. Who will they be facing if they get there? Who knows? But when they climb back into the ring against the Garena All-Stars, don't go anywhere because it's going to be coming up in a moment. It's the 2013 League of Legends All-Star Weekend. We'll be right back after this.